I gotta see if this is working. If it is working, if this is working, this is a big deal. It's a big deal. I got my computer here. So I'm going live. I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm actually very close to where I live. I stumbled upon something very great. I better go ahead and pull this out. Pull this up and make sure that I'm not just talking to myself. So usually when I'm recording videos, when I'm walking around, well, actually, when I'm not even recording videos, I usually just go on walks, every once in a while. Only every once in a while do I take my phone to record a video or something like that. I mean, obviously, I'm not the take pictures kind of guy. But a couple days ago, I had this crazy idea. I've actually done this before, but when I first moved out here, I would go around with my phone and see what kind of reception I would get. Like what kind of, if I could get internet. And basically my conclusion is that I could get internet nowhere. Okay, it's basically impossible. But, okay, am I live? It looks like I'm actually live. Let me just check this. Yeah, oh, wow, it's actually going through. Okay. But this week I actually stumbled across a place there. If you look here, there's this abandoned building here. Actually, around my house, there are a bunch of like abandoned houses and barns and stuff like that. I mean, there are real houses and stuff too, but there are a couple of these where, well, basically, I was walking around here and just on a lark, I was like, let me test what kind of internet connection I have here. And to be clear, nowhere else around it, you get awful reception everywhere on your phone, but right here, I get like 100 megs down and like 30 up, okay? And in order to live stream, you basically need 5 up, and that is a rare thing to find around here. But for whatever reason, this it's like on some kind of magical fault line. Like every cell tower is like 20 miles away from this place. I don't know how this place is getting reception. It must be like, I don't know, FBI surveillance or something. I don't know. But I'm just saying I get great reception out here. So what I'm going to do in this, I guess we'll do this like a normal live stream. I'll sort of talk about stuff, answer questions, but I'm actually going to be doing work. As you see, so this building, okay, really it's a barn. It's like a log cabin barn kind of thing. There's an entrance that's right there that's been covered in brush, and I'm going to remove all that. I don't actually have very many good tools, but I brought some. Oh, and this place is like nearly walking distance. I mean, it's basically walking distance from where I live, but I took a car just because, I don't want to deal with that. Let me just double check we're still on. If you want to give a donation, I will look at the chats every once in a while. If you want to give a donation, go to donate.lukesmith.xyz. That is preferred over super chats. I mean, you can send a super chat, but whatever. Let me just check and see we're actually going through. So my idea is basically I can do in this place. Okay. Oh, I should say this is not my land. I'm on someone else's land. I think I know whose land this is. When I go walking, I'll usually just go, it might be on land that maybe a family member owns, maybe just like no one goes around. Like people hunt in this area. There's nothing really that much else, so it's pretty much okay if you just walk around. But I am going to do some gardening here and clearing up this brush, but I should probably make sure before I actually decide to do live streams here. But my ideal would be I can be in there and I can do a live stream every once in a while, walking distance from my house, and it actually works out. Okay, so... all right, so let's see. I'm going to go ahead and get this thing. We're going to get a little... You're going to watch me do yard work, okay? I hope that's what you signed up for. I brought this little TV tray out so I could put my stupid phone on it and my computer. Okay, here we go. So, let me check this out. All right, I'm going to look at the chat. Gonna pull up a chat. Use it key for 4 seconds or less. Current, okay, whatever. It looks like the stream health is good. Like this is literally miraculous. Like I don't know why the reception here is so good. Okay, let's see if anyone's saying anything. Luke is invading private property. That's what I'm on other people's property all the time. Again, like this, I'm nearly certain that this belongs to a family member that I know. I'll ask him next time I'm basically 100% sure. If it doesn't belong to him, it belongs to another family member I know. So, and they don't care. Like all of our family hunts on this property, or like even friends of the family, they hunt on this place. Like right over there's some hunting stuff. Actually, the only reason walking around here might be annoying to some people is because, actually, right now it's deer season. So if I'm too stinky out here, the deers might get a little antsy, but, you know. All right, so whatever. I'm going to start cutting stuff if no one has anything interesting to say. But this, to be clear, I am doing this mostly as a test to make sure that, like, it will actually, the internet out here will actually work. The only things I have to cut all this crap is basically this and this. Like, I literally do not have good materials. But we're gonna make it do. We're gonna make it work. Let's see. Let me see. Okay. Is it even trespassing if they haven't told you? They wouldn't care. Like, they know I walk out here. That other people walk out here. There are actually people we don't even know that sometimes come out here. There was one time I was out here, like, walking, and shoot, stupid thing. And all of a sudden, this, like, random guy comes up. He's like, I guess what you'd think, he's like sort of a hippie liberal kind of guy who, like, does not belong around here. You know what I mean? Like, you could tell he was just not from around here. And he was biking. That's another weird thing. If you bike out here, that's really bizarre. But he was asking me basically, hey, if I go down this dirt road, are there going to be any houses? Am I going to be trespassing? And I was like, dude, you're already trespassing, firstly. Which, you know, if we knew you, it doesn't matter. But, yeah, it's just weird. You'll see people out here all every once in a while, but it's usually weird if you don't know them. All right. Yeah, I really should have gotten... I didn't know I was going to be doing this today. I should have gotten some better tools. Actually, let me show... Oh, another thing. Okay, let me show you over here. There's this big complex of brush and stuff. Obviously, I'm not going to remove this. I'm just going to remove enough so you can get to the door. But over here, I noticed... I'm pretty sure this is bamboo. We have, like, a bunch of bamboo growing just in the middle of nowhere. I've never seen bamboo around here. But I want to say last year or something, there was something I needed bamboo for. And I was like, oh, I need to really find it somewhere. But apparently it's here. I might take some of this and propagate it. Because, I mean, out here is just growing like a weed. So, you know, no big deal. I wonder if someone planted it there. I assume someone planted it there deliberately at some point. But who knows why. Told you, like, I found this place an hour ago, and I'm just okay, we'll saw them out. Oh, I should catch it. So around here there are actually a bunch of different thorns. There are actually a bunch of different sheds. This one obviously is the least. I mean, you can't even get into it. But every once in a while, there will be, like, homeless people. I don't think, like, every once in a while, but you can go in there and you can tell someone has slept there at some point. I don't think they're, like, this is not a place that's conducive to being homeless, I'll just tell you that. But, you know, probably some teenager if they want to camp. Let's see, wear gloves. No, I'm not gonna wear gloves. Why would I wear gloves? That's silly. So, yeah, you guys tell me if the connection goes bad, but it looks like everyone is, you know, no one's complaining about the connection. Let's get rid of this one. Okay, we can almost get in. Okay, I say one or two more. You're supposed to punch it to cut it down. Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay. Okay, hold on. All right, we're almost inside. Then we can officially have a live stream from the inside of a remote cabin. Okay, let's use these. Cut out some of these thorns and stuff. Okay, let's see. Actually, I'll probably need those, but it's not easy. But again, I don't want to cut everything. As I said, sometimes you'll have like teenagers out here, or like people who just want to go LARPing. So they'll sleep in these. So I don't want them. I don't want it to be easy to get in here. But okay. So, oh, you know, look at. Okay, so pretty low here. I don't know if this. I doubt this was used as a tobacco barn, but the wood seems in pretty good condition. Although you can see this is, you know, it's sort of falling apart. This does not actually look that old. This is, I don't know, like maybe 30 years old. I don't know, but you can see it's falling apart. Like it, see over there. Okay, I'm gonna get the computer and try and get it in here, and we could do a live stream. Well, we already are, but we can do it more normal. This is actually pretty nice. I'm trying to think what kind of roof this has, because some metal roofs, they'll be a little screwy with, you know, cell reception. So let's see. Yeah, I'm pretty proud. Well, I'm proud I found this place. I mean, I knew it existed before, but I guess I never thought to check what kind of reception I would get around here, you know? I just assumed it'd be bad, but it's crazy. Like, I get, like, high-speed internet out here on my phone, which is weird. I mean, it's like, walking distance from my house, where you get literally nothing. In fact, it's actually even further away from the cell tower than my house, or at least, I think there might be another cell tower somewhere over there, but I don't know. Okay. All right. I'm going to take the table in. Got my little TV tray with my computer on it. Let's see if we can get this in without scraping everything up. We probably can't, folks. Give me a second. Yeah, this is the raw, unedited content that people actually came for. Right? They don't care. You know, they don't care about that high production value. Woo. Woo. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. Here we go. Looks like there have been a lot of hornets' nests around here. Although, they're all on the ground. See? Hornet nest. Actually a bunch over there. I don't see any now. A lot of normies, they get really afraid of hornets or like wasps and stuff, but dude, out here, like they're just so all over the place. Same thing with like fire ants, you know? Some people are just afraid of them. Okay, so let's see what people are saying. Luke, can you please talk about the world becoming a controlled prison due to the virus? Do I need to tell you anything? You already know that that's happening. So, I don't know what hot takes you're expecting from me. Yeah, it's just not an issue. Hysteria of the month. Hold on. All right, let's see. Yeah, I think we lost some connection there. Let's see what we're doing. Hello. Okay. Well, okay, it's weird because I have connection. Okay, connection on my phone is working. Okay, is this still messy? Okay, is this live? Can someone please say if it's live? Okay, it's better now. Yeah, I don't know where See, the thing is, again, the reception here is really... Oh, you know, it's probably because I talked about the COVID thing, so I can't say anything about that. But, yeah, I don't know. It might be the roof of this thing. I'm not quite sure. It has a metal roof, and that can be screwy with receptions. So, all right, so Marcio sent in a donation. It's just like Bigfoot hunting in GTA San Andreas. I've never actually played... I don't know if I played GTA San Andreas. I know that I have played, back in the day, some GTA games. I forget which one's which. I don't know. They never made an impression on me. Let's see. The connection is way better in the shed, to be honest. Okay. Is this no? It's not a pre-recording. I'm literally doing this live. Actually, somehow that's the whole. Maybe I should say this because people always tune in late. I found a place in the middle of nowhere, not too far from my house, that happens to have a little log barn that is by far abandoned on property that I know the owner of, and it seems like I get really good reception here. So I might be able to come here to upload videos, or I am literally live streaming. That is unbelievable to me. Like, that you could live stream at any place in this county is amazing. Okay, I know that there's like 1 or 2 places where you can, but this is pretty unexpected, and I just found this today. Okay, it's HD now, but it's breaking a lot. Okay, yeah, I really gotta, when I'm not live streaming, I'll probably do the thing where I like do a speed test, like holding the phone up here and then like holding it down there and stuff like that, and see where it gets the best reception. But just in general, I'm really happy. Again, like usually to do a live stream, you need like 5 megs up. That's about good enough. But around here, it was getting like something like 30, so that's fantastic. But it might be a little inconsistent. Arstenero says, blink twice as the feds are monitoring your stream. I mean, they're monitoring everyone's stream. Who cares? It's not like an issue. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have anything to talk about in this stream. This is really just an experimentation, just to make sure that I can stream from here. But it looks like it does actually work. So I already have, there's my, so a lot of people spend a lot of money on like their YouTube gaming rigs. Oh, my content creation station. Here's my content creation station, kids. There it is. This is more than I could ever ask for, though. Because usually in the past 2 years, if I've done a live stream, it'll be either me at... Awkward. That's weird. Either that or me at someone's house. I've done a couple times of that. Let's see. People are saying F again. Yeah, a nice cuck shed, bro. Thanks. This is my favorite cuck shed. Yeah, people are saying it's buffering. What is the is it? Am I streaming in 720 or 1080? I actually do not know. Streaming settings, video setting. Oh, I'm streaming in 1080p. I should probably have decreased that to 720, just as a test. I'm sure it would be way better if I was doing 720, just as a maximum. So, well, I know, yeah, some people are saying, oh, it has super low resolution. It might on YouTube side. But if I were streaming out, like in 720, which that is frankly enough. I mean, it's just if you wanted to look crisp, you do 1080p. And then, like, if you want to just waste bandwidth, you can do this 4K crap, which, you know, the human eye can't see more than 10 pixels an inch. One thing about that meme, that was an old meme people used to say. I realized that people on the internet, like, there's so many old jokes that, like, you can't even make anymore. Because people will just think you're stupid. They're like, I don't even understand that this is, like, being sarcastic. I noticed when I put up the new podcast episodes for Not Related. By the way, go to notrelated.xyz. But the logo appeared. And, of course, in the logo, it's always been the Big Brain Podcast. The brain spelled BRANED. Big Brained Podcast. And, like, back 2 years ago, no one would have blinked about that. That's just like, oh, yeah, people make that joke. In fact, it's very funny since it's like, you know, I don't know. Obviously, there's something stupid about spelling it that way in the context. But I've had multiple people, well, did you know you spelled that word wrong, dude? Not as smart as you think you are, buddy. And it's like, I don't know, like jokes that people are just dumb now. Let's see. Some Pajit constantly saying, when will you upload Linux video? Who cares about? I've already uploaded every Linux video there is to do. Okay, if I do another one, I don't know. What do you want me to do one on? Just like meaninglessly. If I feel like there's something to talk about with Linux, I'll talk about it. Okay, but everything else, I'm not the kind of person I do 10 videos on the same thing over and over and over again. So that's why I don't do freaking Linux crap. All the time. I've already done them all. Like, if you are really interested in finding Linux videos, not only are there 30,000 people on YouTube doing that nowadays, but you could look back at like the 400 videos I've done, and I don't know, whatever. Sir, please do the needful. Yes. Uh, okay, a bunch of people just typing random stuff now. It's moving too fast. Let me check it. Let me check donations. Donations. Um, you don't really get donations unless you tell people beforehand that you're doing a live stream. Well, you sometimes do. Um, there's a spider behind. Yeah, I'm sure there is. There are probably many spiders around. Now, around here, you actually get a lot of black widows, which normies are very afraid of. Black widows are like the most common spiders out here. But when will you upload Windows video? So the one thing I was thinking about when it comes to Windows. Okay, I haven't used Windows basically in like 5 years. Every once in a while, a normie will like assume that I know stuff about, which I mean I do know. I mean, fixing things for normies on Windows is basically just having, general being able to look for things on menus and stuff. Like that's all you need to know. So people will ask me to solve Windows problems too, even though like I don't really know Windows. But I was thinking, I keep thinking about having like a normie kind of let me fix your computer job. Just for fun, just to hang out, meet people in town. Yeah, I would like basically have to use Windows again and figure out how everything breaks nowadays. Of course, most problems on Windows can be solved, or at least most viruses can be solved by just going into like the startup log, because basically every virus puts itself there. So, you just go there, find out where the virus is, and delete the virus. And that's about it. So here, anyone want to have an entrepreneurial idea of what to do in your area? Here's a nice idea, especially if you're in a small town, but big cities it works as well. Learn to digitize VHS tapes. Okay, that is one thing that I've figured out. So many boomers want that. They have no clue how to do it. And people will charge these people like $1,000 to get some VHS tapes digitized. It is actually a super easy thing to do. You just got to have connectors, maybe an HDMI capture card, maybe a VCR that like goes to HDMI. There are different ways to do it, but it's like such an easy way. Like I digitized my parents' old videos the other week. And of course it takes a while because you have to watch through every one of them. So I just had them playing in the background or the back room while I was doing other stuff. But digitizing VHSs, that is something that's big in demand. It's easy to do. You could basically buy, you probably have most of the equipment now, a VHS, especially if you have one with an HDMI plug-in, but you can get the equipment for like $100, practice on your own tapes, easily make money doing it for other people. That's a little entrepreneurial idea. I need to do this too. Yeah, you should learn how to do it, and once you do, it's a fantastically easy thing to do. Yeah, literally, like, it's crazy. Look up online or just, like, in person. Contact yourself a tape digitization company and ask them how much they charge, and you will be dumbstruck, considering all you have to do to digitize one VHS is basically, like, sit through it, okay? So, I mean, if you really scaled this up, like, I guarantee you normies right now who have VHSs or, like, recorders that they're not using, so you could just have a farm, each VHS or VCR like digitizing a different tape for a different person. Man, you can make that so efficient. I was just thinking about. I'm actually thinking about kind of doing that for at least some people I know. I don't know if I'm gonna charge them because I don't know. Maybe I know them too closely, but whatever. All right, yeah. Look at this inane. So I was talking to someone. All right. So at the beginning of the year, I'll do a video on this. But at the beginning of the year, I said that I'm going to quit YouTube by the end of this year. Okay. And I still hold by that. In fact, functionally, I've nearly totally quit. YouTube is so bad now. So like I'm just looking at these comments, and I'm not calling anyone stupid. But I was talking to someone, or actually multiple people. I feel like I've had this conversation to multiple people, including multiple people on YouTube. The quality of like YouTube comments has decreased so precipitously in the past like 2 or 3 years. Okay, this isn't just for me, this is for other people. And I think, honestly, my conspiracy theory on that is that there are now Google AIs, and there are now neural nets that will just go on, and if your comment is not like utterly brainless, like something that they can predict what you're saying, basically, they just assume it's like, we're gonna delete that. That's like probably hate speech. That's probably this or that. So what I've seen this happen, especially in the past like year or so, or maybe 2 years. Every comment in the comments section is just like, I mean, it could be written by a robot. And of course, I'm not saying that these people are robots, but I'm saying like the dumb memes, they are allowed because they go by, you know, basically it's predictable thought. You can understand what people are saying. If anyone has a long-winded, like if they want to, I don't know, have an effort post or like say something intelligent, that will not get through, basically. If you are writing up posts like that on YouTube, they will probably not appear. I've noticed this in my own posts and stuff. So that's like one of a million reasons. Like YouTube is just like I don't trust it anymore. It's stupid. Like I don't. I mean I haven't really been putting up that many videos on it. I did notice that I've been putting on subscribers at a slightly higher rate. I mean I used to get maybe 30 subscribers a day. But now I get, you know, actually a little more than double that. But it's just like, what's the point of it? I don't know. Like I don't know. I've been burnt out on YouTube since I moved out here because it's just like, I don't know, it calibrates you to real life more, and it's just I don't know. I'm not interested in that. So let's see. No interesting comments to note. Or at least they're always crowded out by just dumb stuff, you know. Let's see. Yeah, literally, like the stream is like literally unusable because it's just like the same two people saying the same two things over and over again. And then like everyone who has something to say, of course, they're non-retarded, so they only say it once, and it just gets drowned out. But I'm just gonna like hide all of the users who post something twice. I need to just have a bot that does that automatically. Let's see. Are you worried about food shortages? No, not out here. Again, it's one of those things. I missed the donation, did I? Yeah, I mean, it's always, when I do streams, it's always better to give donations at my personal site, which I guess I don't have the link to, but I will check. Let's see, viewer activity, I think that's where they put them. I don't see any. You need a Janny. Yeah, I don't know. I might get a Janny. It's just not worth it. Like, especially if I'm just randomly doing a stream. The other weird thing about YouTube, like YouTube and Google, of course, will go to great lengths to censor like political stuff or like just I don't know, anything that's inconvenient for them. But then, like, what is the one domain you are most likely to get email spam from? It's always Gmail. What is the one, like, you know, in terms of social media sites, what's the absolute worst one for, like, crap like this? Well, it's YouTube, you know. Or, well, other stuff as well. But it's like this social, like, it is anarcho-tyranny in a sense, where, like, social media sites, they will clamp down on anything that's, like, politically inconvenient or just things they don't like for their own social engineering kind of stuff. But then they just let stupidity, I mean, I don't know, it's just sad to see the state of the internet now. I mean, it really, like, you Zoomers, like, legitimately, you will never know what the internet was like 15 years ago. It was just, like, a totally different thing. But, you know, that's how it is. Perhaps says, is Yeshua Jesus' actual name? I mean, Yeshua is the Hebrew, or I guess it would be the Aramaic pronunciation of Jesus' name. Luke, do you think that hyperinflation is coming like Jack Dorsey? Oh, of all the people to look to for financial advice, Jack Dorsey. Jack Dorsey is an absolute idiot. I mean, he's worse than like a shill. Like, he's a guy who allegedly, according to himself, has like deep convictions, and 100% of the time he will not follow them because he literally just lets these like Twitter idiots tell him what to do, tell him who to ban, tell him how to control thought, and then he'll say some nonsensical stuff about, oh, I'm for free speech, and I'm for like a free economy and Bitcoin and all that. He's an idiot. Jack Dorsey's an idiot. However, responding to your actual, anyway, do you think that hyperinflation is coming, like Jack Dorsey says, or do you think we're headed for a stagflation scenario like the 1970s? Some of both. I mean, you have to realize, why did stagflation happen? It happened because of supply shocks. And we do have some of that stuff now, but we also have basically hyperinflation. I mean, not hyperinflation yet, but we have this massive increase in the money supply too. So both. I mean, things are just going to get bad. Let's see. What's the best way to navigate the internet without a search engine? Honestly, there is no place I know of. I can't give you a good answer for that, other than over time you get used to good sites on the internet, and from those you find others. That's all I can say. I don't know. Maybe I should do this. I don't know. I should probably build like an index site of good stuff to look at, because it's so rare. It used to be if you found someone's site, they would link to the 20 sites they liked. Okay, that just as a convention, that no longer occurs because people rely on search engines. But that is a convention that I don't know, needs to be, started over basically. Perhaps says, is Messianic Christianity following God? What is that? When you say Messianic Christianity, is that like Jews, like people who are just Jews who believe in Jesus? No, I mean, no. I mean, Christianity is messianic. I don't know exactly what you mean by that. I know that there are some idiots out there who are basically purport to be Christians, but they're really just, they like love Jewish stuff, and they love Jewish aesthetics, and they love celebrating the old law, even though the entire New Testament is why you shouldn't do that. Luke, what was the religion you said believe that they're Catholic, but the Roman Catholic Church wasn't the real church? It was something that wasn't the Eastern Orthodox. I mean, I might have been talking about the Sedevacantists. They're people who basically think that the Vatican right now is heretical and that there is no legitimate pope. That may have been what I was talking about. But even like, so let's say the Chinese Catholic Church. In China, the Chinese Catholic Church, they're basically Sedevacantists. Biggest Sedevacantist, congregation, because they actually sort of split from the Vatican a little bit before Vatican II, like they don't accept Vatican II. So in most things, they're actually way more traditional now, even though originally it was split off because like, oh, we want to make sure this church will like not be anti-communist or whatever. Except for now, ironically, the Vatican is much more communist than communist China's Catholic Church puppet. I mean, that's how things is, What are your thoughts on Web 3.0 and Metaverse? Like, you shouldn't use it. That's all. Accelerating Universe says, you're probably thinking of SSPX. No, I mean, they believe that the Pope, they believe that Pope Francis is in fact the Pope. They just don't like him. They're like, oh, the popes teach heresy, and they're basically not Christians, but somehow they're still the Pope, legitimately. Whereas the SP, so that's the Society of St. Pius X. There's also the Society of St. Pius V. They're Sedevacantists, or more Sedevacantist-like. It's very confusing, but, there are a bunch of different things. Thoughts on transsexuals? None that I can say on YouTube. Do you know about Keith Woods? Yes, I'm aware of his existence. For some reason, I looked him up the other day. I don't really watch that many YouTube videos, but yes, I know about Keith Woods. He seems to have, good videos, good people watching his channel. So I don't know. You guys might want to check out Keith Woods. But yeah, I don't really watch that much stuff on YouTube. I think he watches my channel. I don't know. I want to say, I forget exactly, but. Yeah, I don't know the guy personally, but he seems like a good guy. More like a NRX kind of guy, I think. It's always a little inaccurate to use terms like that, but All right, we're now getting to the section where every comment is, what do you think about X? We'll see if there's something interesting. What do you think about Mental Outlaw? Mental Outlaw's fine. I like, he's one of the only good, I guess, YouTube channels or whatever. I mean, good tech YouTube channels. I don't really watch YouTube, but I keep tabs on his stuff. I think I have his stuff on RSS. Do you use Awk? Yes, I use Awk. Are you still using the Epic Domain Registrar? Yes, I am. Yeah, I mean, if those people who are like, Luke, why don't you do more Linux videos or whatever? I'll give you the same spiel. I've already done them all. I might do some if they come to me, but I don't do uninspired videos. I'm not going to repeat them. However, if you just want Linux and technology stuff, just go to Mental Outlaw's channel, because he basically has the same editorial stance on nearly everything. Probably everything. I don't know. Maybe we disagree on something. But Mental Outlaw is, in general, a good channel to watch. All the other tech channels I do not recommend. So. Do a pull-up. I can't really do a pull-up on this because it's not really tall enough. I don't know. Maybe I'm holding this with my other hand. Now, if I could do a one-arm pull-up, can't really do that. Not strong enough for that. Pull-ups have always been pretty hard for me because I've always lived a sedentary lifestyle. Make a not related episode about John Dee and, I guess you were going to say, the Enochian language. I do plan on doing an episode of Not Related on Hermetic thought and alchemy. So that might be in the next month or so. I don't know. I've never read that much of John Dee's stuff, and his stuff is a little later. Sort of in like I don't know if he was like Rosicrucian, if that was after him. But like that's sort of late alchemical stuff, so I'm a little less interested in it. Luke, do you use IRC? No, I don't. Mental Outlaw is the reason I use Arch and be able to use Vim. Well, that's good. Luke, what's your opinion on homosexuals? Nothing that I can say on YouTube. How many years have you been doing tech? I mean, I haven't really been doing it. I don't know, using technology my whole life. Using Linux maybe 5 years. Are you an atheist? I guess that means atheist. No, I'm not. Maybe do a video series for internet LAN chats. Yeah, I am planning on doing that. Okay, I shouldn't say I'm not gonna do tech videos. Oh. So landchat.net, when I made that site, it's very nice, very useful. I have been meaning to record a series of videos just going through those tutorials, setting things up, just because people like them in video format. The reason I have not done that is because I have not had access to good internet. I actually, my internet has gotten even worse in the past couple weeks. Okay, maybe I should just record them out here. Since there's so great internet out here, I should do that. That would be a thing. I don't know, maybe I can decorate this. It does look a little stupid. It actually looks better on the camera than it does in real life. It's actually very grimy looking in real life. It looks a little lighter. I think the camera like adjusts to make it look a little, I don't know, brighter. But yeah, I do plan on doing those, and hopefully I'll finish them before the end of the year. Now, I said that I'm probably going to quit my YouTube channel at the end of the year. That does not mean I'm going to delete it. I'll probably keep it up. And it actually doesn't even mean like I'm not going to do videos. I'll probably put stuff up, but like I would rather have 1,000 viewers per video on PeerTube than have like 1 million on, or like 10 times as many on YouTube, where YouTube is just like a sucky platform, again, like for a million reasons, and I'm just participating in the social, kind of the social engineering behind it by being on that as my primary platform. Now, my videos still go on Odyssey. They're automatically queued up from YouTube, but I usually put up things first on PeerTube. So if you go to videos.lukesmith.xyz, that's my PeerTube instance. For example, there's a video that I think is going to go up on YouTube tomorrow that came out earlier today. Usually I put up things a little quicker there. Marcio says, what's your take on the 2007 financial crisis? Any plans for a podcast on the subject? No particular opinion. I mean, if you're asking something specific, I mean, it's the same kind of. I would put most of those crises in the same kind of, sort of like the coronavirus thing, where it's all manipulated for like something that happens that's bad is manipulated and used to. Oh wow, we can further the government's control of this, or we can put people out of work and put people in bigger companies and stuff like that. Now the coronavirus thing has been much, much worse in terms of like putting small businesses out of business. But I did an essay. I should probably do a video on this, my views on economics and stuff. But I did an essay on this on my website a million years ago that I think it's entitled, it's in the economics tab. It's on GDP, okay? But what I talk about in there is, why basically when people are talking about economics, they're doing everything backwards, in essence. Because they talk about GDP as being a good thing, like, oh, we're stuff, we can consume more product. Where the argument I make there is basically GDP is a bad thing. It's really the amount of output is required to for a person to continue. Okay, how did I put it? It's much more eloquent. Now I'm like spilling it out like spaghetti. Basically, a lot of people think of GDP as being this is our output. But in reality, this is the amount of work that is required to continue our lifestyles at this setting, right? An ideal would actually be a zero GDP place where you are self-sufficient. You can take care of your basic needs without having to rely on the economy. The GDP is basically a metric of reliance on the macroeconomy. If the GDP is going up, not always, I mean, it can mean other things, but in general, when you see the GDP going up, especially in developing countries, that doesn't actually even mean that people are living better lives. It usually just means this is traditionally an economy that is under the table, off the radar. People are producing their own stuff. They're giving it to their neighbors. They're trading it with their neighbors. Now it's on the ledger as being part of GDP, and that looks good. So therefore, it's good for us to centralize more economical stuff because it becomes easier to measure in GDP. Whereas long-lasting products, they're bad. They're bad for the GDP. Actually curing people of diseases, they're bad. They're bad for the GDP. So my view actually is that a long-standing depression that is not overcome with Keynesian magic is a good thing. Okay, maybe I should go into this in another video, put it more coherently, so I'm not just ad-libbing it on a YouTube or a live stream or whatever. But will you get Starlink? I actually am on the Soylink, the wait list or whatever. Allegedly, I'm supposed to get something by the end of the year. We'll see if that happens. Philip donates $10. Thanks, Luke. God bless you for exposing me to many worthwhile things. Here's your favorite type of question. What's your take on Sam Hyde? JK, now for real, what piece of advice would you like to give a 20-year-old self? I don't know if you're sarcastically asking what I think about Sam Hyde. I mean, he seems to be, he seems to be an okay guy in general. I know, people kind of look to him. I don't know. I guess he does like kind of what I've ended up doing. He started doing like he started doing like just goofy comedy stuff, and then people like just ask him life advice, which, in most cases, most of the stuff I hear Sam Hyde say is pretty sensible. There are like one or two things I might disagree with him on. I think he uses Reddit. I don't know what's going on with that, but I remember some video he talked about using Reddit, and I was like, oh wow, that's kind of cringe, dude. But in general, he seems to be a pretty, give pretty good advice, I guess. Anyway, now for real, what piece of advice would you give to a 21-year-old self? Woo. To my 21-year-old self, okay, if I went back in time, I would tell him, I guess I was just about to graduate college. I would probably say, don't feel obliged to finish college. I mean, maybe finish it. I mean, if you just got a little bit left. I was on the Hope Scholarship then, so basically it was free. I mean, I had to pay a little bit, but maybe finish it. But I would probably say, yeah, don't go into graduate school, even if you don't have job prospects. Move into the country now instead of 10 years later. That would be a good... If I could have moved out somewhere like here 10 years ago, that would have been freaking fantastic for 5 million reasons. Too many to enumerate. So I would not things I would not tell him. I would not tell him, oh, work hard and get a good job. I mean, it's important to work hard on important things, and get money. But I'm very glad. I'm very glad I actually graduated during the financial crisis, because that there weren't many good like wagey jobs. Like there weren't many opportunities in the system for me to even get a job in, right? So that was probably like retrospectively, if I had gotten a decent job there, like working as like some kind of bureaucrat, with my economics degree, I would probably be in a worse place. I'd probably have more money than I do now, but I'd probably be in a worse life situation. So I would say, like, go ahead and move to the country if you haven't moved to the country. Get a sustainable job in terms of a job that's actually doing stuff, not like where you're part of a corporation and you're like non-essential and they can fire you if you don't get the vax or something like that. Just a job where you have like basic autonomy. Be a little bit more. I think it's probably good for people to be a little more, not egotistical, but I don't know what the word is. Just kind of be more of a cowboy. Like don't be pushed around by bureaucracies. And sure, you might miss an opportunity, but that can be a very good thing if the opportunity is for you to become more and more of a wagey slave. That's what I would look at. Now, and think if you're 21, think less about girls. That's another thing. You probably won't follow that advice, but you probably should. Yeah, because, well. Okay, let's see what else people are saying. What sort of metaphysics do you follow? What do you mean by metaphysics? I mean, Josh Jones says, I remember a while back you said you'd make a video about your PhD. I got offered a full ride overseas for a master's. Curious about your thoughts. I work remotely, so I'd still be able to make money. So if you're doing a master's because you want to be a professor or something like that, just go ahead and quit it. Like, don't even look for a reason. Like, I would have to tell you my whole life story, but don't ever try to go into academia. Bad idea. No matter how smart you think you are. Actually, being smart is a liability, frankly, in academia. Like, even if you're good at following directions and doing what you're told, and you're a good paper pusher, you will still have a living nightmare of a life in academia. Don't do it. So I don't know what you're doing your master's for exactly. If it doesn't interfere with a lot, it might be something worth looking at, but like it depends on what you're doing a master's on. Like I can't tell you everything. Like I'm always against giving specific people recommendations because I don't know your example. But I will say, like, especially graduate degrees nowadays, unless you have something very particular, or actually not even particular, like if you think that this master's degree will give you good general skills, it might be worth it. However, most people do not get master's degrees for that. They do it because, this is like required for this line of work that I want to go into now. That might end up being a waste. And it's especially a waste if you're going into graduate school because that's what people do. And if you say you have a job, you might just want to, I don't know, depends on what kind of job you have, but you might want to consider that. So it's possible that what you're talking about might not be a bad idea. It depends on the particulars, but I'm not going to tell you one way or the other. You just gotta be careful. Think about it in terms of, am I increasing the possibilities I will have in the future or decreasing them? If you are going into a particular line of work where you can't do anything else, you are decreasing your freedom in the future. If this is just a time killer, and it might open some doors that are not just in one area, but many, maybe that is worth doing, okay? Mateo says, do a not related on Zetetic Astronomy or Kings Dethroned. They are revisionist astronomy books. Yeah, I've never heard of either of this. Maybe I'll take that into account. The 21st reaction says, but what if you want a family? I don't know what that's in reference. Let's see. Maybe he gave a comment before. I don't know what do you mean, but what if you want a family? I didn't tell anyone not to have a family. Um, so yeah, I don't know what. None of this is incompatible with having. I mean, you should. Well, I will say for men. Okay. If this is the guy who says, or I said, like, don't think about girls as much. I mean, if you have like a 100% perfect girl who you want to get married to at 21, be my guest. But I will go ahead and say that most 21-year-old guys do not have that. Maybe they have some girlfriend that they're like sort of attracted to, or some girl they theoretically like, or multiple girls they theoretically like. It's not really serious. And maybe you could get married to one of those, but it's not like, I'll just say with men, it's probably better for you to get married just a little later, because especially when you're 21. Okay, so think of your position when you're like 20, 21. Okay, you're just graduating college as a guy. So here's some, I don't know, universal advice. If anyone gives you identical advice, whether you're a male or a female, they're giving you bad advice. Okay, the dynamic for girls is very different from the dynamic from guys. Now, when you graduate college as a guy, nowadays people are basically looking at girls their age. All right. In most societies, there's usually an age gap between men and women who get married. Like, men are usually a couple years older. But if you're a 20-year-old guy looking at 20-year-old girls, like, you don't really have that much to offer a girl, to be honest. Like, even, and this isn't your fault, but unless you're a freaking millionaire when you're 20, or like you're a sports star or something, like, there are very few guys who have anything to offer girls. So that means, even unless you are absolutely fanatical with the girl you found and she's perfect, I'm not telling you not to marry her or whatever, but if you're just meh about your girl, I will tell you, in a couple years, you will probably be able to get a much better girl, okay? And, when you're 25, try to get a girl who's like, 21 or something like that, okay? And girls go for that. Like, girls are definitely more aware that they sort of have this, they like guys who are just a little bit older than them, sometimes a good bit older, but a lot of guys sort of think of it in terms of, like, if you're the same age of a girl, if you're in the same life position and you can't offer her anything that she doesn't already have, you're not going to get like a super great girl unless you're just lucky. If you are lucky and if you have a fantastic girl, hey, that's great. Not telling you anything about, like, marry her. That's fantastic. I have a cousin who was married at 18. Fantastic. He's doing fine. So I'm not against that, but I will say for 90% of guys nowadays, especially if you're in a bugman city, getting married at 21 or like getting married that early, unless your girl's just perfect, and you just really like her, don't get married just because, I just got to do it now, because you don't have to. Guys, you have a little bit more time where you can make those decisions. Girls, that is not the case. Okay, girls are at their peak around 20. Like, you're just gonna be, by the time you're 30, there's a big shift that happens, right? A 20-year-old guy is not that attractive, like, compared to girls. It's a girl's market when you're 20. It's a guy's market when you're 30. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, a guy who's 30, he usually has a job, might have a house, have a lot of property, stuff like that. So it's easier for him to get a more desirable girl who's a little, maybe 25, a little younger than him. So anyway, that's my point. So I'm not telling anyone don't start a family. In fact, if you don't want to have a family, that's like, I view that as incredibly suspect. It's like, why even live? Like, seriously. War Camel says, is there anything particular that you miss in city dwelling? No, I'll go ahead and tell you that. Does living in the countryside require an entrepreneurial spirit, or is it feasible to get a regular wage job as an electrical engineer? So, no, I don't miss living in the city. There are a couple things every once in a while I'll want to do that I can't do here. And this is, I think I said this in a video before. This is a weird thing to say. Last year, I just really wanted to go to a Shakespearean play. Okay, that's something I can't do out here. When I lived in Atlanta, there's actually a place called the Shakespeare's Tavern that, they actually have, they do Shakespeare, they do nothing but Shakespeare all year round. But they were closed for the COVID hoax anyway. But, thespians, you know them. So there are a couple weird things like that I miss. But, like, the general stuff, the things that you think that you might miss, you're not going to miss, okay? Unless you're, like, some kind of, like, irredeemable normie who wants to, I don't know, like, drink and party and stuff like that. I mean, you can't do that out here. There are some cities you can go to, but like you're not going to want to. It doesn't really require entrepreneurial spirit or anything like that. Well, I mean, if you're talking about jobs, I should say, oh, I got 15% remaining on my battery, so we might have to call it quits pretty soon. Um, I think that in a small town, okay, I'll go ahead and tell you the things that people. Every small town will probably be short teachers. Okay, that's something that's pretty common because a lot of people move out. So even if you don't know anything, you could at least be like, okay, I'll work at like the middle school or something. There are those kind of jobs that they're always going to have. So if you don't have any plans, that's sort of a safe bet. You might want to think about doing that for a year or so. I actually did that when I moved out the first year here. I just taught for a year because I wasn't sure I could make enough money online. But that was just a precaution basically. So there are some. I will just say that like I don't feel like there are people out here who are unemployed, like who are really looking for jobs. But the thing about being entrepreneurial, you might get that feel because I always want people to be entrepreneurial. Again, I said, hey, if you can digitize VHS tapes, if you can fix people's computers, make money off that because that's you employing yourself. Okay, you just work in your own home. You can have, basically work all the time, work at your own schedule, and you can do something else to make money. You could have a full-time wagey job if you want. So I definitely recommend people to be more independent in the process of moving out into the country, but you don't have to. You can get a wagey job. Like I know people my age and younger, like people in their 20s and stuff, who live in the area, and yeah, they have jobs. Like you can do it. It's not hard. Yeah, it's there's not like a job shortage out here, frankly. And a lot of the jobs are more real. Like a lot of the jobs in the city, they're fake. They're like bureaucratic BS jobs. As David Graeber says. Harris Newstetter sends in $10, but thanks to YouTube CSS, I cannot read the most recent donation comment because it's stupid how they arrange this. So someone will send in another donation and I will be able to. Oh, you know what? I could plug my phone into my computer. That'll give us a little bit more time. Let's plug this thing in. Let me check to see if I have any donations on my site. Okay. Logan donates $5. Instead of SSHing into an interactive shell, try using SSHFS to mount your VPS file system to your ThinkPad. Okay, maybe I'll look into it. But that sounds like it would require constant internet connection, which I don't often have, but I've never looked into that. Let's see. Have you banned someone from your channel and why? I mean, I ban spammers every day. Like every time I do a Bitcoin video, you will see in the comments, Bitcoin videos are so relentlessly spammed by like fake accounts. So yeah, I ban those all the time. Every once in a while, I'll ban like a normal human, but like I'm trying to think of an example. It'll usually be for something like someone is just like spurging out, like just like making a fool of themselves and like harassing people. I'll usually just like block their account or whatever. But that's pretty rare that people do that. But people will like spam. I don't know. The weird thing about spammers is they will go through so much effort for you to make one click to ban them. Like that's the weird thing. Like, why do you care so much? People even like create multiple accounts, and it's like, dude, this is much harder for you to. It's much easier for me to just click a ban on each of your accounts than it is for you to create 30,000 accounts. I don't know why people do that, but people are psychos. Who freaking understands? Zig and Zag says, "Here's some shekels. I have nothing good to say." Okay, well, thank you. Okay, and that brought up. Now I can see Harris's message. Harris says, a certain amount of submission to systems and wageism is necessary for a nation to be successful and produce great things. Think Japan and German technology products. Okay, it's an issue of like on what term. Yeah, sure. Well, that sort of assumes that like being successful economically is like my goal. ability for me and people around me. Okay, that doesn't necessarily mean producing a bunch of crap. Okay, it could. I'm not saying that's bad. Okay, I'm not anti-technology. I am just on the side of you got to think about, I don't know, how it affects you first. Then you can think about making cool technology. And so, yeah, and there's also, when you're talking about the system as a thing, you have to realize, especially in America, like capitalism, so-called, is not just something economic now. Okay, it's not like, oh, I'm just going to get some office job and I'm going to do this and that's it. Now there is like a very open political turn to that, and it's like evangelical. It's infectious. Like, these people are taking over everything. Like, these people, like, they want to make everyone live the life that they want them to live, okay? And participating in that system, I view that as a evil thing by itself, okay? So I don't view that as a good thing. If you're talking about just people, being nice at work and, making compromises in the United States of 2021, we need more cowboys. We need more people who say, yeah, this is stupid. I want to think about the actual ramifications of what's going on. Because I said in that video I put up on PeerTube, it'll be up on YouTube probably tomorrow, how, I don't know, how this, crisis has, I don't know, spiraled out of control. It's like, it's not just about producing stuff for them. It's more about, like, social control, okay? So that's my issue with it. If you, again, compromises, in a business setting, that's a good thing. If you're accomplishing stuff, if you're getting things through. But, it's, if you're like selling your soul, that's dumb, okay? And I don't think that's what you're saying, but I just want to make that distinction clear. Advice on living off of the land from AU Vax. What AU? Trying to think. Is that Australia? I don't know. Is that the abbreviation for Australia? Either way, what was I gonna say? Yeah. Hold on. Looking at something. Okay. I don't know. Specific advice? Just do it now rather than later. It's only going to get more difficult. That's kind of the point. Like, things, just do it now. Do what you know is right now. I don't know. I don't know what, if you have property, if you have something else, like, just look into buying property, like, far away as you can. I can't really give you any specific advice about that. Harris sends in $2 more or $10 more. Most of the production of systems is total BS. Agreed. But a nation must survive technologically against countries like China who would otherwise dominate you. See, no, I don't think that at all. Okay, so people have this weird notion of like world domination. Okay, so I think world domination is not what countries want. China does not really care about world domination, okay? They put their tentacles everywhere for their economic good, but this idea that, like, Chinese people want to come here and convert us to Chinese, no, that's not something that's going to happen. I mean, it's not. However, the reason people think that is because we live in this weird evangelical culture where there's, like, this cult of democracy and human rights, and, like, Americans have this very unique idea, and some people in Western Europe have this unique evangelical democratic idea that it's like their goal to convert the entire world and everything else. Okay, but that is an idea that like is basically specific to our cultures. If you go to Russia, they do not feel the same way about the rest of the world. They don't have this desire to, oh, let's go to freaking Nigeria and convert them to our form of government. Americans absolutely do have that idea. Americans do feel that way about Afghanistan. People in China don't. Okay, so now I'm not saying, I mean, you should be independent of these systems. Like, I'm not saying, oh, well, we got to let the Chinese do everything. That's not what I'm saying. But the natural state of the world is local communities are very hard to infiltrate. That should be how things are throughout history. Like unstated, stateless languages and cultures have survived for millennia. Okay, that's not a big issue. It's not like these other people are just, oh shoot, now my computer's almost out of battery. 5% left on that. It's not like everyone else is trying to convert everyone to their religion. Really, that is only the case in America. America has this weird idea that they have to like spread their contagious worldview to the entire world. And everyone else who doesn't comply is like some kind of evil person who has to be like invaded, or like, they're a domestic terrorist, or like whatever. That is an American thing. Other countries do not look at the world like that. Okay, yeah, okay. Last donations, go ahead and give them now. I'm going to go ahead and read through them as quickly as absolutely possible. Looks like I got a couple here. Philip, $10. Thanks. Luke, God bless. Oh, wait. Did he already... Wait, I already read that one, I guess. Hold on. Yeah. Sorry. Logan, I think he donated before, but he has another one. Your podcast kept me sane at my wagey production line job. Now I have a better wagey job where I can actually be creative and experience joy. Thank you. Okay, great. Moving up on the wagey ladder. Someday you'll get off of it. You got to get off of it, but that's a goal. Let's see if there's any other super chats. I do not see any new ones. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. Truman Doctrine. Taiwan, Ukraine. Yeah, Taiwan is part of China. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, America. No one is fighting a civil war that they won 70 years ago. No one can. Taiwan is part of China. It's so stupid for Americans to have this freaking CIA idea that Taiwan, which is basically this puppet American government that is a holdover from a civil war they lost 1,000,000 years ago. Stupid meme. Dr. Cruz sends in $5. Thoughts on space travel. Hard to colonize Mars without high technology. I'm not against high technology at all. I am critical. Yeah, thanks, guys. I'm getting all these social credits. I should be sorry. People are talking about how good of a Chinese shill I am. I will say I had a friend a while back. I would always rant about American foreign policy. And I had a friend from Iran, and he would be like, dude, you should really get a job on Press TV. That's like the Iranian state news where they just talk how terrible America is. So maybe I'll get a job there. Maybe I'll get a job with China. Anyway, so Dr. Cruz sends in $5. Thoughts on space travel, hard to colonize Mars without high technology. I'm not against high technology at all. View is that basically, okay, now I have 10% on this. I got a little bit left. My view is that basically technological advancement, so-called, has to happen at a slow and artisanal level, okay? And it needs to basically be decentralized, okay? As much as possible. So we have internet technology now, and it's only after the internet that we realize that we can have things like encryption and stuff like that. And now we have to look at going back at that technology and kind of rewriting it to make it fit, this higher standards. Same thing with, Bitcoin, something like that. It would be better if Bitcoin had zero knowledge proofs at the beginning, so it could be nice and private. So my view on technology is that if you're having high-level technology, you want to have it. Sorry, this thing is beeping. I have 0%. I'm going to pull up. Just shoot. I'm sorry if I miss your donation because this thing's about to die. I should just turn it off because I'm not giving a good answer to this question because I'm just freaking ad-libbing. Yeah, I'm turning the computer off. I'm going to turn off the stream. But I'll answer this question. Yeah, so really my view is that technological advancement has to happen at a slower rate. And people always have to have that ability to live without it. Okay? That's really my view. And that's a difficult thing to do. That's a slow process, but it's going to happen. That's how it has to be if we want to retain humanity. Now, as it comes to, conquering Mars or whatever, I think that's something to look at. I mean, already we've seen this happening. Like, it used to be, when is the American government going to get to Mars? Now people are thinking about, I mean, it's weird to say this is an improvement, but they're starting to think about, when is Elon Musk going to get to Mars, right? Now it's gone from the government to being a private thing for billionaires. And I think as we perfect the technology and stuff like that, it'll be something that's more and more accessible to normal people. But I'm just absolutely not against technology per se, even organization-dependent technology, so-called. That's the Kaczynski term. It's just that I think that it always has to be under the control of the people, of people, basically, rather than the reverse. And that's a gradual and it's a process that takes a lot of, experimentation, right? And people, I think the most important thing, I guess I'll go ahead and pack things up since my computer died. The most important thing is just like people not to fetishize technology just as this like magically good thing. Like every new kind of iPhone or whatever is like somehow like world revolutionary, it's going to change everything. I think it's really just people need to view it with more suspicion. And if we're suspicious of technology, we can trust it more. I know that's a weird thing to say. If you're suspicious of like different companies, you can live in a society where companies will do better stuff on average, okay, because the standards are higher. And it's the same concept, right? You got to be suspicious of technology. So anyway, I can't read what people are saying on the chat. I'm going to stop streaming. The live stream's probably going to stay up because I have to turn it off on a computer. So hopefully I'll have enough battery at home, or like reception at home, to do that. But thanks everyone for watching. It's nice to know that I can actually do this, like do a stream out here. So I may do some later on that'll be more organized, aside from this where I just like randomly said stuff. So yep, see you guys next time.